some news out of the NFL as that season is quickly approaching, Brett. I mean, we talked about some fantasy football stuff last week, but it's really right around the corner.
I mean, we're like 10 days out. Or I guess 11 days out when we're recording, but 10 days out when you're listening. And I'm excited. I mean, it really feels like it didn't feel like football without training camp and preseason, but the last 2 weeks, it's finally started to feel like football season.
It has. I am worried about injuries and the impact that those can have due to the lack of contact that there was through practices and uh, without there being preseason games. But we'll see. You can get injured in a preseason game just like you can get injured in week one. That doesn't really matter where you are in football. The danger is always there. But there have been some interesting moves going on. Yannick Ngakoue was traded from the Jaguars to the Vikings. Now, we've already known this name was on the trading block for the Jaguars, but he's going to be heading up north.
Yeah, no, and he took a pay cut to leave Jacksonville, which I think caught everyone by surprise because he didn't want to play for that franchise tag in Jacksonville. Uh,
Yeah, I feel bad for Leonard Fournette, who still seems to be the only Jaguar that's left from this team that showed a lot of potential when they made it to the playoffs a few years ago.
but speaking of the money, have you seen him in training camp with the $100 bill on his pads?
No, I did not see that. That's great, though.
Yeah, he's just been running around with $100 taped to his back. But someone who's not been able to run around due to injury, the Eagles' first round pick, Jalen Rieger, will be out 3 to 4 weeks. They already have Alshon Jeffrey on the injured reserve list. So the Eagles down two wide receivers for Carson Wentz. I guess Deshaun Jackson's going to be playing a big role in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I saw Chad Johnson sharing some videos of Deshaun Jackson's training camp, and he looks sharp. He looks good. And the Giants' secondary already saw some injuries as well, with Xavier McKinney breaking his foot. So he's going to be out until late November, it's looking like at least. But the Giants, they also got Danny Holmes hurt. Blake Martinez, the linebacker out of Green Bay that they just signed, that's hurt. The Giants' defense looking banged up before they even take the field.
Yeah, the Eagles are down two linemen, so maybe it's just a bad trend in the NL East or NFC East.
Well, some college football news. Jamar Chase, the wideout out of LSU, he announced he's going to sit out and enter the draft. Now, we all know Justin Jefferson, the wide receiver that got drafted out of LSU this past year. Well, Jefferson made his name late because in the playoffs he caught 4 touchdowns in a first half, I believe, against Oklahoma. But Jamar Chase had more touchdowns caught on the season than Jefferson did. Chase is a very talented wide receiver in his own right, so him sitting out is pretty notable.
Yeah, I think Jamar Chase will still be the first wide receiver taken in the draft next year in the NFL draft. That is, um, Micah Parsons was a big name to sit out, but the Big Ten is questionable on when their season's going to start or what's going on. I mean, there's talks of a bubble, potentially even in Syracuse, which Illinois versus Iowa at the Carrier Dome, like nothing says Big Ten football like that.
Maryland Rutgers.
Maryland Rutgers. I mean, at least Rutgers has been to the Carrier Dome. When's the last time? I don't know. Guess Wisconsin's been to the Carrier Dome. I mean, there's a lot of other
Probably for
options.
basketball.
Yeah, man, just basketball. There's a lot of other options on the table, including Indianapolis, Detroit. So you never know where they're going to end up or what they're going to end up doing. But Jamar Chase, easily in my mind, the biggest name to opt out of the college football season. And from the biggest conference, he plays for LSU in the SEC, like you mentioned. So that's a big, big, big name to announce that he is not comfortable with playing this year.
And the SEC is still playing. The LSU, I assume, has players and students on their campus now, so very interesting decision for him to decide to sit out when there was an option for him to have a season. but his tape is already by far and away NFL ready. I agree. I think he's still going to be that first quarterback that is, or first wide receiver that is taken off the board.
Fuck it,
It'll be
we'll take him
interesting,
to
though.
play quarterback.
Some Antoine Randall type stuff.
Yeah, exactly.